As we move further through our construction careers, does it seem like time passes faster and projects seem to go by quicker? What causes this, and is this a good thing or a bad thing? Today I'd like to explore our perception of time to see if we can slow it down and extend and improve the quality of our careers and lives. We all have our personal stories about how time seems to move faster or slower in certain situations. For me, I found the recent pandemic to be terribly long and time just dragged on forever. But as business resumed, my entire perception of time changed. So what happened? There's several psychological theories that have been proposed to explain our perception of time as we move through our lives. I won't go into much detail, but some psychologists and philosophers have offered some very compelling ideas on the subject. I'll leave some links below for you to explore in your own time. My favorite approach is development theory. The idea is our perception of time is influenced by the developmental stages of our psychological and cognitive processes. These processes mature and grow throughout our careers. These developmental stages begin early in our careers as bottom-up information processing and later transition to top-down processing. Let me quickly explain the differences between the two. Bottom-up processing begins with sensory input from the environment. This is simply consuming and learning from project data and information one line at a time, page by page. Ironically, this linear learning is the opposite of how the real world happens, which is it happens everywhere all at once. Just like a new college intern working on your project or in the design office, they start with little or no experience and move from the easy task to the more complex. This allows them to form the basic perceptions and understanding of our industry. This processing flow is driven by external inputs and information with minimal influence from their prior knowledge or experience. This requires a large amount of mental energy to be spent in an effort to wrap their minds around what they're doing. So their perception as time moves more slowly. But as we move through the stages of our career, we can't help but rely more on top-down processing. Top-down involves the use of prior knowledge and expectations to interpret and make sense of the project's information. At this point, information processing is now influenced by internal factors, such as past experiences and knowledge or our beliefs. As our careers mature, we simply get better at perceiving reality, which allows us to make quick, informed decisions without all the details. This allows us to quickly interpret project information based on our existing mental frameworks, approaches, or strategies. At this point, it just becomes a yes or no, right or wrong, up or down type decision. So for development theory, the most important thing to remember is bottom-up can provide the most accurate picture of reality, but it expends the most mental energy. On the other hand, top-down can expedite decisions using past experience, but these decisions may not reflect the true realities of the situation. With that said, it's difficult to dispute that as we move through our careers, we naturally move from bottom-up to top-down processing. We just get better and more efficient at perceiving the realities of our projects, and we pay less attention to the real external inputs to make decisions. But is paying less attention to the details really a good thing? I have to admit that sometimes I slip into autopilot and pay attention to only the details needed to complete the task or to make the decision. I find myself constantly trying to make snowballs out of snowflakes. It appears our ability to process real detailed information irreversibly changes throughout our careers. This is not a conscious choice, it's just the way our minds and decision frameworks naturally develop. We all understand that we can't act like a new project intern every day. We'd never get anything done if we behaved and worked like we had no experience. The reason is a top-down approach saves us so much time and energy. The less mental resources you use, the faster time passes. It's like a night's sleep passing almost instantly, or mindlessly scrolling through YouTube videos on a Saturday afternoon. The time just flies by. This inability to take the time to dig through the details of a situation causes us to trip over weeks trying to save that precious day in the project schedule. This is the same day that nobody remembers immediately after the project opens. It seems like the more exposure to different situations we have, the more automated and robotic our mental processes become. Simply put, our careers and life start to move too darn fast. So what strategies can we use to maintain a sense of control of our perception of time? First, we need to deliberately invest more time and energy in understanding the dynamics of the universal reality around us rather than relying on our own historical presuppositions and constructs. We need to stay current and see the world for what it is, not see the world as what it means to us. Next, we need to consciously reassess and prioritize the activities that we're mindlessly executing. Avoid habit thinking. We need to confirm that we really know what we think we know. Finally, we need to start doing less. We've replaced the time that we've gained through our years of experience with busy, meaningless, unimportant activities. Anybody that's worked with a large corporation or client knows exactly what I'm talking about. We need to focus on what's important and avoid mental overload so we can experience our time in a more balanced and controlled manner. Ultimately, we perceive time differently depending on what we do during that time. Time is not within our control, but you can reduce time by reducing the uncertainty of it. So if perception is 9/10 reality, or if our perception is actually worse than reality, why are we trying to improve reality? We need to improve our perception of time instead. The things that we do and don't do matter more than we think. Our fear lies in acknowledging that our choices truly matter. Every person that doesn't bring forward the potential possible in their lives leaves a gap for something else, which typically ends up being filled by something worse. You have to conceptualize how much time you're wasting and then choose to move away from that. You need to develop a vision of what things might look like if they were better and incrementally strive towards that and improve yourself. Small improvements can make all of the difference. To close this out, the meaning in your life is directly related to how responsible you are with the time in your life. A disciplined path requires a lot more courage and strength than an undisciplined path. The quality of your time should be structured to be as difficult and productive as you can manage. Investing in worthy, purpose-driven activities will not only provide greater satisfaction, but will prevent your time from passing by too quickly. The goal should be to utilize your time to be as meaningful as possible for yourself, your family, and your community. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. As always, you can contact me if you have questions and leave your comments below. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your next project.